Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all in this virtual meeting. As we all, speaking of the virtual meeting, as we all have witnessed in the past decades, how technology, data, and AI had transformed many aspects of our lives. Now we can meet virtually in a international conference. We can find almost any address and the best route to it in any traffic situations. We can find out information about a house in the community before we decide to move to a new location. But when it comes to career decisions, the experience is not quite there. The facts are not transparent to help us decide where we are and where we need to be, especially for some communities that are underrepresented. In this talk, I'll go over different approaches to tackle this problem using the latest AI advancements in the HR tech industry. Specifically, I'll share some of my learnings from a National Science Foundation project targeted to improve the talent ecosystem in STEM. Hi, I'm Dr. Tammy Wang, and I am the Vice President of Data Science and Machine Learning at Korn Ferry. Korn Ferry is one of the largest global organizational consulting firm. What I'm working on at Korn Ferry is a SaaS platform to provide insights and the tools to help organizations and people to build sustainable growth, either in business or via their workforce or their individual career. Before Korn Ferry, I spent 5 years working on a recruiting platform in Silicon Valley, building AI solutions to improve efficiencies in the recruiting process. And before that, I was at Zillow and Microsoft, building different types of AI-driven and data-driven platforms. So in mid-2019, I partnered with Dr. Denis Nakaplov from University of Virginia. We got a National Science Foundation Convergence Accelerator grant to explore basic research and discovery to accelerate solutions towards social impact in the field of US talent ecosystem. Here's a brief introduction. Our goal there is to build a data-driven career compass, a predictive tool to help people, make the best career decisions in technology. I'll dive a little deeper, in the later slides. Along these findings with many partners, we learned so much about what the pain points are and how we can best solve these problems. The Economist magazine noted one of the most obvious consequences of COVID-19 pandemic will be the infusion of data-enabled services into even more aspects of our lives. With this trend, we are going to encounter a massive shortage of tech talent. To help these digital transformation, we need to enable more people and a business into upskilling and reskilling to fit this new workforce. And to solve this problem, we dive deep into the detailed labor market data and performed in-depth user research. We believed that a core solution should be a compass, a decision tool for career navigation with a specific focus on inclusion, helping underserved workers to get on a successful career journey. We want to help people with a navigational assistant based on their unique position in life, giving them the opportunity to make various stops along the way while we compute the variance based on their individual decision points. Our approach is based on data and machine learning models that we leverage a unique Markov dynamic model on directed graphs to make these predictions. What we learned from our research is that there are three essential components to help people build a successful career path. First, we need to provide tools to understand and assess skills required for each role along the pathway. A second, we need a training and a coaching capability for people to really equip themselves with the right skills. And a third, there are many decision points about career decisions, directions. The data-driven insights are needed to really direct people to achieve the career goals. Here are some examples of what we learned about people. Aspiring tech workers seem to have a known career trajectory for 2 years, for a very short range, but lack the longer term vision after that. And there are no commonly agreed upon metrics for success of the career path in many sectors. It is also unclear what success means in a technology career. What is the career trajectory? What's the difference of career trajectory between a mid-level manager in a very large company or head of engineering in a startup? We also found that many individuals are just simply unaware of all the options that are available and unsure of where to begin the assessment or a gap analysis of what skills they need and what the value of the skills might bring. It is really hard to learn from other people who build fulfilling careers, especially in technology, since it's just more complicated and not straightforward, especially for women and minorities who are not as naturally networked or in the inner circles as their upward moving peers. With the transition to this remote or the hybrid work environment, to learn organically and to network organically, it's even harder. For these people, it's this type of information, if it's even less accessible. So to help the underprivileged to navigate their careers is as important as ever. Our prototype, career path model we developed in this research predicted that job market disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic will hurt workers who are trying to make in the tech job market the most. Our model predicts that chances for a new college graduate to ever make to the top management position, decreases amid the hiring freeze and the tougher competition caused by the disruption of COVID-19. And those new college students who can eventually reach the top management level, the path can be a lot longer, up to 20% longer in the aftermath of the pandemic. So in this NSF project, we experimented with a model based on millions of data points. This is an example of a real-life career map in technology using employment, recruiting workflow data, and many other data sources. Each node on this map is a cluster of similar jobs, and that they are connected based on common job transitions of people. As you can see, the bottom right-hand side are the junior roles of junior engineer roles, and they transition into the mid, network layer of the mid-level engineers, and eventually they move gradually to the left-hand side corner, and that the outer tier of the left-hand side corner is the different types of CTOs and different types of jobs. And how they're connected are based on people's profile data, how they move from jobs to jobs. We believe it's promising to have a tool that incorporates causal relationships and models to help people plan and evaluate career path options, such as switching careers, acquiring new skills, or taking a new position, providing more value. This will provide more value than the commonly used salary-based job decisions. We'll come back to more detail about these models. And now let's take a look at how career path information might help people and support people in the workforce. Let's help Sam. Sam is a first-generation American, currently in the first 3 years of his career as a junior software developer. With these type of tools, Sam can map his route from where he is to the destination he has chosen. As you can see in this map, it has more information about different types of jobs along the path and how long it'll take and the outcome of the job as well. With the model we built, is a discrete decision simulation model. We make it intuitive to view the path, to jump through the career landing spots, or to reset the path to chart a new course. There are many people like Sam, and these type of tools can help. As we know, the tech talent market is remarkably unbalanced. So only 2.2% first generation graduates major in computer science. Even less CS degrees are awarded to Hispanics and African Americans. And also this graph shows that there are only 4% females in the top engineering executive positions. And we're losing women in every step of the career progression. Hopefully, with tools and the data, we can narrow this gap and broaden the participation of all underrepresented groups. The NSF project was a prototype. COVID-19 has upended the concept of workspaces and employee engagement, making adoption of technology in the HR space a necessity rather than a choice. And this demand had pushed the latest advancements in machine learning and artificial intelligence rapidly to reach the mainstream of HR technology. Let's take a look at what's happening. As we know, the depth of any AI applications would rely on the depth of the data. The volume and the quality of data dictate how good the predictions will stand. If we unpack the career path of a person, we found that this full cycle career data are the foundation of the full aspects of a career decisions. We can when people enter the workforce, we have the recruiting data. We have descriptions about job, about the initial interview assessments. Then along the way, we have the training and the initial wrap up and preparation for people to get ready for their new jobs, and they learn the skills along the way. And that career journey, it comes with job transition data, pay data, and the skills and the responsibilities of each of the roles a person would take. And in a real life job cycles, you have performance review, you get peer feedback, you get manager feedback, every year. So these feedback data would really mark the actual fit or unfit for a person in a role. And now we are looking at the time series. We're looking at the talent growth trend. When you aggregate enough of these type of career cycle data, and you look at organization talent, how organizations employ and retain and grow their talent in a specific area. And now we look at a bigger picture. We have this industry movements, industry trend, how people move from industry to industry, each geographic location. What are the top level trend? What are in demand? How people grow in different sectors. As we had mentioned in the previous slide, again, all of these movements, they come in three essential components about career, about talent and the workforce. First, we need to have tools to understand and assess different types of skills. And then we need ways to help people train and learn and build up their capacities to fit in the right roles. And then we need the features or capacities in our technology solutions to help people to pick the right direction. And the data-driven insights are needed to achieve a longer range career goals. How companies build a skill system right now, it's one of the biggest topics in HR tech. Every new recruiting tools have skills around jobs. Learning tools would have skills in to index and to find and recommend learning material. And the talent marketplace solutions would have these kind of skills to help match people to jobs or projects. Many companies, such as Korn Ferry, my employer right now, and big companies like Workday, Oracle, along with many startups, new solutions, all trying to aggregate this data into a structured taxonomy, management system, and build mapping and reporting capacities on top of this taxonomy layer. Here is an example of Coursera's skill taxonomy. So as you can see how skills are organized in terms of difficulty level, proficiency level in a specific group of skill clusters, like machine learning, a specialized skill. and how different types of skills are organized under machine learning, and the different levels of difficulties will go down, in this tree structure. And behind all of these use cases and these tree structure, the common methods are used in the NLP, natural language solution, where it's a very well developed or a very booming in many directions. These methods are like word embeddings, the graph models, to really organize this relationship of these different skill clusters, and this clustering methods to group similar skills or related skills, into this very organized, taxonomy structure. So again, back to the reality of the gradual reopening of nations around the world. Organizations have been evaluating, the post-pandemic working models and the physical return to work. If you read the news, every company is announcing somewhat a new policy about, the return to work. The COVID-19 crisis forced many organizations, particularly, the organizations that are largely composed of knowledge workers, to shift to remote models or hybrid models. So in this environment, effectiveness of communication is becoming the key, to the actual, workspace productivity in this new format. For anyone to actually generate any impact, soft skills and the technical skills are equally important in the career growth journey. And as I mentioned in the previous slide, we can parse resumes, we can parse jobs to get this skill taxonomy about all these technical skills with our tools in AI and machine learning. But it's equally important to have the way, different ways to assess, and size the soft skill gap. That this part is a little challenging, since they don't normally have a systematic evaluation and a certification mechanism. It's not obvious from a resume, how good your communication skill is and how good you work around people in a virtual environment. And HR departments now are, exploring ways to equip with a framework that can codify soft skills and define their respective evaluation criteria. I'm using Korn Ferry's, treats and drivers model as an example to measure and develop soft skills. In Korn Ferry, based on a large amount of data and empirical research, we found many ways to understand styles and personas to help people figure out the best way to deal, to work, to learn. And we also find different ways, based on how people in the past, in data and in our research, how they fit different types of roles. Traits and drivers are used to define who's going to be successful at the job. So traits are personality characteristics that can exert strong influence on behavior, such as optimism. And drivers are the preferences, values, and motivations that influence a person's career aspirations. So with these type of tools, a comprehensive measurement structure that can capture both the technical skills and the soft skills, and this structure can prepare people to grow with a full long-term successful career. And there are many other AI-based coaching tools as well. So in X for Impact, a firm we collaborate with in the NSF project, we have an AI-based coaching tool in a virtual environment to detect voice, detect emotions, to help people to be more effective, to give a presentation or prepare a job interview. So there are many very interesting and groundbreaking innovations in this AI-based coaching tools to assess and help people improve their soft skills as well in this new setting of workspace. So with the right skills, we can help people think about career transitions. Yet the hard problem is, how do we measure transitions? The core solution is how we measure distance between jobs. Behind the scenes of any of this implementation, there is a core equation of the distance function. The distance function of the on these two charts, I gave two examples. The first one is the one we built for our National Science Foundation project. The distance function is the co-occurrence of two adjacent roles in people's career transitions. So we measured, with massive amount of data and some clustering algorithm and some of the discrete choice models to see how people move, what's the likelihood of move based on one node's feature and against the next node's characteristics. And the second chart, the second graph here, is a different way to measure distance. It's based on similarity in skill sets along with other features. So this is research done in the academic and the industry area, many other solutions as well. This is a fascinating field. If you dive in, you can find many different types of distance functions to fit the types of the model, the type of objective function is optimized. We also found that the hard yet critical problem is the long-range career planning, the economic value of these decisions. We don't buy a house without knowing the appreciation rate, years down the road. Yet, we all make, a lot of us actually, we don't have the clear idea, about the longer term outcome of jobs. We apply for positions online. We think about, some college kids think, oh, that would be a cool major. Yet we have no clear idea what the outcome would be and how to get there in that cool destination. To solve this, we incorporated the causal relationship models, and that can best leverage the full cycle data we talked about a few slides ago, and help people plan and evaluate their career path options, and providing these will providing more value than the immediate salary outcome of the next job. This model reflects how skills and knowledge that was acquired by a given individual, and translate that into the set of the future opportunities, the value of the future opportunities. So we know this is an important problem, and we also know that it touches so many people, and it is essential questions in our career planning, in our workforce management. All of these need to be answered. yet there's huge challenges in this HR tech industry to actually leverage AI applications. The core of it, the essential problem is the availability, the accessibility, and the quality of data. First of all, there are stringent regulations and protections related to HR data. Rightly so, right? We need to protect people's privacy. We need to guard, very, very carefully how we handle human data. GDPR and client-specific requirements, they all require firms in any of those solutions to implement extensive infrastructure in the data pipelines to protect these people, human-related data sets. But if you look at from innovation perspective, it added costs and slowed down the innovation. Secondly, these data are stored in different applications. And due to these regulations and protections, it is very hard to integrate these data points and applications together to get the full picture of the career development. For example, in an AI environment, the requirement is often to de-identify, to depersonalize any data entrance, any data points. That's like a very, very basic rule. We need to take any PII data, any identification data out of our data set. But when you get all this fragmented data set from different platforms, you can't really unify them. There's no way to connect these data sets from one application to another. And this will really reduce the usability or the quality of the data we can use to train models. And there is no industry standard to measure roles and responsibilities. So in one company, a job is called data engineer. In another company, it's called IT operation. So these are the same jobs and responsibilities, but there are just so many variants of titles. This is just an example. There's no industry standard to capture exactly the core of different types of jobs, and then we can use that standard to measure how people move, from companies to companies, from industries to industries. And the real, and the outcome is also the real problems. It's, the pay data and the business outcome. Every job is aligned to some objective function of a person and some objective function of a business. And that goal is all, obscure in most of the data set. So these are all the challenges in this field in HR tech. But I'm also very hopeful. It's good to really know that nowadays a lot of companies are trying to overcome these issues, and the very large firms they are willing to invest, like such as Korn Ferry, and along with a lot of large companies, they're willing to invest in the advanced technology, to really, push forward, and a lot of new innovations in the field, with a high demand in this new work environment solutions. I'm also hopeful that the AI and machine learning advancement can drive the real breakthrough and innovation, so we all get successful careers, and for everyone in society to move on a very fulfilling and satisfying career growth journey. Thank you all.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. Really interesting talk, and you touched on many aspects. And I know, Tammy, you have worked in a number of industries. So why HR tech? So what motivates you to build AI to help people in career development?
Yeah, thank you, Ian. Yeah, so I'm very passionate about this technology. So because I fundamentally, I believe, everyone deserves a good career. Yet there is no good solution right now to make the career development, options and methods very effective for people. So I think with the latest advancements in machine learning, in AI, it's really worth the effort. It's worth the time and effort we put in to just find a good way to help people to manage their career development very effectively, especially in this ever-changing, drastically changing working environment right now. So I think people deserve that too. And it's our responsibility to leverage everything we learn we have in theory in tech to provide that solution.
It's really fascinating. You talked about the long range planning and the understanding of the trajectory of each person of their own. And this is indeed, you pointed very true that we pay a lot more attention on other things than actually career when it comes to such a long-term thoughts. I have worked lately with helping older workers, right? So I'm sure this might probably another important cluster of people, a group of people. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit, like anything you find out, what could we do? And, there's often my observation, there's often an emphasis on helping young people to find, like fresh college grads. Mm-hmm. Of course we should, but how does that play out also with helping older people? So I asked quite a few questions in one, just share. I'm sure you have so much insights and to share with us.
Yeah, I think for in the whole HR tech solutions and the industry, now we pivot a lot of solutions, not actually not age specific, but we pivot everything centered around skills and understand the dynamics and the market of the change in responsibilities and jobs and the skills. Everything's based on assessments of skills versus old days, different types of experience-based or age-based and ability-based. Now, to really fit people to workforce, if we measure everything in skills, we can actually curate solutions to find the best fit for different age groups, to upskill them and reskill them and make them get into the workforce, find the roles that the best work out for them and the best work out for businesses. I'm sure there are a lot of values in their experience. So I think the assessment, the smart tools to really assess people correctly, sometimes it's not just the fancy, trendy, cool tech skills. There's so much going on in the experience they have in their lifetime. So to measure the comprehensive soft skill, tech skills all together and find the best fit, that's the challenge, but that's exactly what we're working on nowadays. It's really the new pivot in the industry.
That's awesome that you mentioned that you have received the NSF grant, and it sounds like this would be, I'm trying to say things for your now the HR tech sounds like a really good area for people in data and machine learning to actually pay attention or roll up sleeves so to get working in it as well, right? Would you I guess you would say so.
Yeah, definitely. Think about we think about the transformation solutions in our industry, right? In the past, People, Zillow helped the people find houses, and you buy one house every 10 years maybe, but everybody needs a job. And you can, I think the impact to help people build a successful career, manage their, happiness in life, in the social structure, and that's a much bigger impact in everyone, every country, every industry.
Yeah, and rewarding, I'm sure. So you mentioned quite a few challenges as well. Are there any other challenges like maybe on the approach side, AI and data-driven approach in HR?
Yeah, I think I mentioned a lot of the data challenge, data protection, data collection challenge in the talk. I also think scientifically, just fundamentally, when you look at feature space for people, it is a massive amount of data and a complex feature space. To describe a person, it's a lot harder than the e-commerce platform to describe a product, right? A search algorithm to find the best product recommendation. But when we describe a person in the vector space, it's a way more complex, and then we have so much data, and yet it's so hard to extract the right values out of the data to really capture a person and a job, and the time series of the job of a career. And I think that's, enormous amount of challenge. Is just theoretically to compute everything correctly and accurately, and then measure it correctly, to design the right metrics, to solve the problem. But yeah, it makes it exciting too. That's we had a lot of solutions we built. They're different vector space. They're different layers of vector space, and then perform very complex computation. High dimension vector space, or many of those vector spaces combined. Yeah.
Sounds really, really exciting, interesting. Thank you again for this wonderful talk. I would encourage everybody to actually think about the HR tech space, and I hope I can encourage them to reach out to you, Tammy, for any interest, questions, or any further exchange on some new ideas about this, right, Tammy?
Yeah, absolutely. That's I would encourage everyone to think about, the smart AI researchers and the uprising stars in this space. Think about the best value we can provide to the society, to everyone, to bring the value to them. Let's solve the hard problems.
Yeah, thank you for coming to KDD and give us this talk, Tammy.
Thank you, Ying, and thanks everyone, and have a wonderful day.